Assalamu alaikum. Hello, welcome back to our channel. We are the Muslim Family Adventurers. Welcome to our channel, and if you haven't subscribed, please press the subscribe button and join our family. We have a lot of amazing content on this channel, from travel adventures that we have as a family, and personal development, and things that are related to Islam and connections between Islam and travel. So a whole bunch of different things that we talk about on this channel that helps a family function, grow together, and become a high functioning part of society. So today's video is an interesting topic. Today's video is also a personal development video. Today's video is about moving in silence, the concept of move in silence. This concept is not a new concept. This is something that we've seen in history and in past civilizations, and this is how you can see how, like in history, you see how conquerors and invaders this was their strategy, that they would move in silence when they were getting ready to invade a new country, or how whatever their goal was, they would move in silence and not share their strategy with many people ahead of time. They would share it at the right exact moment. Same thing about successful people. They have strategies in place that they don't share until they reach their goal, or until they know that their strategy works. And they have a reason why they move in silence until they get to this point. This is when ideas are becoming developed. It's kind of in like the pre-research stage, when your goals, your ambitions, your dreams, your ideas are getting developed. And so rather than sharing it ahead of time, before your late development, you share your ideas ahead of time, there's reasons why that might not be very beneficial to you, and I'll talk about that in just a minute. So when you're in this research phase, and you're not quite sure what it is that you're trying to achieve, or if your goal will work out, it's like early mid development of your plan or your ambition, your goal, there really isn't any need to share this with anybody. And for me, my personal reason of why I like to move in silence until I get to my goal, or until I know that I have achieved something, is I have I guess you can say I have two reasons why I do this, and I'll share them with you. First of all, I've learned over experience, the older I'm getting, is not everybody is at the same level of consciousness as you. Every person is at a different level of consciousness. You may be here, somebody may be here, somebody may be here, they may be there. So everyone's in a different level of consciousness, and everybody has different perspective and different experiences in life, which allows them to make different opinions of how far a person should go in terms of ambition and drive, and seeking their dreams. And a lot of times when people have been discouraged, then sometimes they have more of a limited, they put a cap on themselves. And then when you share your dreams ahead of time, they might, try to put that cap on you. And so there's two reasons why I personally don't like to share I like to move in silence, and I don't share my goals and ambitions, dreams, until I am almost done or I have reached my goals. Is because, number one, other people will feel the need to give you either an approval or disapproval, even if you haven't asked for that, because nobody needs that. Every human being, like I said in previous videos, every human being has free will. Every adult has free will, and you're an adult. You're not a kid anymore. You don't need approval. You're not a child, so you don't need approval or disapproval from somebody to tell you, yes, you should do this, or you shouldn't do this, or you should buy this, or you shouldn't buy this, or you should go here, or you shouldn't go here. So number one is people feel the need to give you their approval or disapproval if you share your idea too early in the development phase, and you are not moving in silence. The number two reason I feel like it's good to move in silence is people's judgment. People will lay their judgment, again, based on their experiences or their limited consciousness, that they will judge you for your dreams or your ambitions. So it's for these two exact reasons it's best to move in silence. Sometimes unknowingly, instead of encouraging you, people will discourage you. They will tap into your fears, and they will make you second guess your decisions and your goals. Do you really want this? Are you sure? What about so-and-so? What about so-and-so? What will happen to the kids? What will happen to your husband? What will happen to this? All these things to kind of discourage you from going for what you want to go for. They'll tap into your fears. They'll tap into, if you go to such and such place, and this will happen. If you go to such and such place, this will happen. So, a lot of travel plans, things like that. And, when I make my itineraries and I make my plans, the only person, that I'm discussing this with is my husband, because A, he's paying for it, and B, we are, going together, childcare, all that logistics. But other than that, until the travel is in full swing, we're going to be moving in silence till that point. And that's just something we've learned from experience. So yeah, build your inner voice so loud, so clear, so decisive, that you don't need to get the approval or the disapproval from any outside source. My rule of thumb is like, when I have a goal or an ambition or a dream, my rule of thumb is, number one, is this something that's un-Islamic? Is this something that goes against my religion? Yes, no, okay, on to my next question. Do I need to, if I share this with so-and-so, is this someone who is paying my bills, honestly? Is this someone who is supporting my children? Do I need to seek their opinion in order for my plan to work? And most of the time it's no. So I don't need to share, move in silence. So those are the two criteria, or some, things that play in my head before I share ideas with anybody. So along with the approval and disapproval, I told you, of others comes the judgment of others. Sometimes people will put you in an imaginary court, and that what you're attempting, is that even possible? And and then you'll need to defend your idea, which or prove it, for them to say, okay, yes, check mark, you can do such and such thing, and you have our permission. And then there's that fear of, and I know in Desi culture there's the fear of what will people say, and just sometimes nonsense things that will hinder you from really looking at the larger picture in life, which is we're all here for a limited period of time. Our life is very limited on earth, and hereafter is the real life. So why live this life in fear of what will people say, or in fear of, just constant fear that you're not able to achieve your goals because of worrying about the approval of outside sources or the judgment of outside sources, rather than focusing on what's inside and what it is that you want, for you, for your family, and to grow as a whole. So in my mind, get a little naive and move in silence, and until you have reached your goal. And that's for me. Like I love sharing things on social media, but I will share things after they have been achieved, because what I want, sometimes what I want is met with resistance, and I've seen this in the past, that and it's, I don't know what the reason is of why there's so much. I think it's harder for women than it is for men. There's a lot of cultural barriers that get placed for women that men don't have to deal with, where it's like, why? Explain yourself. Do you have, are you going to be with somebody at all times? And, all these things. And so, so it's quite simple, that if this is a dream that I want for me, and I'm going to go for it. And it's quite simple that if my children have a dream, and I will be there to guide them, help them, support them, inshallah. But we are going to be moving in silence until we get to our milestone, and then the next milestone, and the next milestone. And that's how I think life gets built, is milestone after the other. And you're just going to stay stuck if you're waiting for the approval of others, and if you are kind of spilling the beans ahead of time, because people will always have judgment out there for you. They're humans. They're always going to say, second guess you, and are you sure you want to do that? Are you sure you want to do that? So yeah, all humans, I've shared this in previous videos, are on their own ladder of leveling themselves. and with their own consciousness, with their own experiences, with their own ambitions, an understanding of what is possible for them. So what may not be possible for so-and-so doesn't mean that's impossible for you as well. The way I like to see it is I changed my entire mindset that everything is possible for me. Everything, like I said, my 2 rules of thumb: is it Islamic? Is it going to affect, somebody else's pocket? No. So let's keep moving forward. And if things are meant for you, and they're gonna come your way, so move in silence, focus on your dreams. Don't let the opinions of others and the approval or disapproval or the judgments of anybody else block you from achieving your dreams, and keep moving. Unfortunately, we aren't collectively at a stage where everyone is supporting and uplifting of one another. Definitely, if you find a tribe that is uplifting you and is supporting you, stay in that tribe as much as possible. But not everybody's at that level of consciousness. Not everyone has reached that point yet. So until that point, collectively, as a whole, as a nation, as a society, as the ummah reaches that point of supporting each other and uplifting one another instead of bringing everyone down, move in silence until that point comes. So this is kind of common sense, but sometimes we forget. Sometimes we feel like we need to get the opinions of others, but what ends up happening is a lot of times people ask me, why do you want to do that? Why? Because I want to. Quite simple. And this is what my family wants, and that's it. Simple as that. You don't need to explain yourself to anybody. So I hope this video helps. I know this is kind of a tough love video, but it is important. I think this is a concept that if a lot of women, especially, if we can kind of get this in our head that anything is possible, and we don't need to defend ourselves or explain ourselves to anybody until, like I said, is it Islamic? Is it affecting somebody else's pocket? You don't need to explain yourself to anybody. Keep going forward. So yeah, that's my little tidbit for today. Happy Sunday. Take care, guys. Bye-bye. Assalamu alaikum.